Having just commemorated its 25th year, John Thompson's Rich Hill stud in New Zealand has also been celebrating the success of stallions Shocking and Poisier. Now they're looking ahead to the first foals of star Australian stayer and son of breed shaper High Chaparral, Ace High, as they welcome the first babies by Deep Impact son SATONO AlADDIN.
You know, when the horse was first put in front of me, I didn't quite realise how good his pedigree was, you know. And then I researched it. I mean, sons of High Chaparral are going so well, and of course, out of a Reduced Choice mare, out of a Sunday Silence mare, and then if you go back a little bit further, the sixth dam is Natalma, the dam of Northern Dancer himself, the greatest ever, and the fifth dam, Springer Do, she's the grand dam of Dane Hill. So in fact, he's got the two greatest stallions probably in history back in his pedigree, and he's got those lovely bloodlines, you know, with Reduced, Sunday Silence, and of course High Chaparral. I don't think you can get any better, really. He was a physically mature, you know, early running 3-year-old, and the Spring Champion Stakes has actually developed into a very good sire-making race in the last 10 or so years, you know, going back to Dane Win, and of course Savabeel himself, who's been such an asset to New Zealand, and then Dundeel, another son of High Chaparral, won the Spring Champion Stakes as well, came over from New Zealand. So to have 3-year-olds up that early running those distances, they have to be physically and mentally tough, and this is what this horse was. He had speed. You know, October 2-year-old running second over 1100 metres at you know, at Rose Hill to Champagne Cuddles. You know, you'd be very happy to have a 2-year-old doing that, wouldn't you, in any barn?
He has more of a, you know, a shorter coupled, strong, nuggety physique, doesn't he? So he really obviously has the stamina within him to be able to throw progeny to run longer distances, but he also has the look and the ability to throw horses over shorter courses.
Yeah, that's what first struck me when I went to see the horse, just physical presence. I mean, he strided out of the box, and you looked at him, and you know, he had very strong shoulder and good deep girth, and you know, a lot of muscle, and I just attribute a lot of that to Reduced Choice. He just, to me, he's got a lot of Reduced Choice about him, which is fantastic, but he's got that sort of High Chaparral quality, and perhaps a little bit of Sunday Silence in there as well. So it's a pretty exciting genetic cross. Talking to David Payne about the horse was very interesting, because he didn't like wet tracks, which you know, as we know, some High Chaparrals do. But in the spring, you know, in the spring of his 3-year-old career, he won the Spring Champion Stakes, and then he went on and you know, blitzed him in the VRC Derby. And the very interesting thing about his racing pattern that day is he missed the kick, and he tended to be his own worst enemy. He'd jump so well and get to the front, and it sort of blunted his finish a little bit. But the two very impressive wins in the VRC Derby and the Hill Stakes, both times he actually missed the kick, and you saw a blistering turn of foot, which again, that really excites me. Every great stallion has that turn of foot, and he's got the pedigree as well. So yeah, a really exciting horse.
What's been the reaction from breeders? Obviously, you know, John Cordina, his owner, you know, when he was racing, and David Payne, his trainer, have been to see him as well. What's been the reaction from local breeders?
High Chaparral probably achieved, you know, arguably his greatest you know, moments when he was bred in New Zealand, you know, with the likes of, you know, So You Think being conceived over here, and you know, he really was a phenomenon when he stood in New Zealand. So it's exciting to have a dual Group 1 winning son of High Chaparral over here, and of course people were very taken again, as we alluded to earlier, with his physique and his pedigree. You know, he did tremendously well. He served around 100 mares in his first crop, and some lovely mares, and so he's got his opportunity. John, of course, has supported the horse himself, and he'll be really excited about. He's very passionate about the horse and his foals, and of course David, he came over and he gives him a big rap. He just said he never had an unsound day, never went shin sore, which is very interesting with his pedigree.
But SATONO AlADDIN jumping out of the ground.
Well, speaking of first foals too, the first foals of SATONO AlADDIN are on the ground now. Now, this fabulous son of Deep Impact, who won the Yasuda Kinnan, you know, we know Deep Impact recently had Fierce Impact winning the Toorak and the Cantala Stakes for Matt Smith. But SATONO AlADDIN himself, he's really letting down into a fabulous looking stallion, isn't he? I mean, his coat looks sensational, and he's really thickened up too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, these horses, I mean, he won the Yasuda Kinnan, Japanese's biggest Group 1 mile, and he won 2 Group 2s over 1400 up there, and then he was immediately retired to stud. He served a book in Japan, flew straight down here, a big trip from Japan for these stallions. So, you know, they do take a season or two to let down, but it's testament to his temperament and you know, particularly lovely pedigree again, this horse. And of course, you know, with Deep Impact unfortunately passing away, I doubt whether we'll see too many more Group 1 winning sons of Deep Impact, you know, in the country. And the Japanese horses this year, I think they've had 9 international Group 1 winners. They won the, you know, the big 3 in Hong Kong. They won the Cox Plate. They won the Caulfield Cup. They won races in Dubai. So their horses, you have to say, are arguably the best in the world now. So tremendous for New Zealand to have access to this horse.
And he's really imparting real quality into his babies.
We sort of said at the end of the season, you can walk around the farm and there's not really a bad foal by, you know, by him on the farm, by SATONO Alladin. He's really stamped his quality and his athleticism into all these horses. And yeah, say no more, obviously one of my favourites. She's a dual Group 1 winning daughter of Pentyre, our foundation stallion, who did so well for us. And another very exciting filly. I might have to keep that one.
The Atosha Lass Colt, this is a Pentyre mare, a November foal too, from the Canny Lad, Canny Lass family. He's a well-grown boy. Again, another lovely type.
Another one out of a Pentyre mare, and this time a lot of speed back in the family with the likes of Canny Lad and Canny Lass and Causeway Lass, Astute Angel. We all remember those horses, don't we? And the mare herself's had a couple of winners, so he's another very, very nice colt, first crop colt by the horse.
The final foal we looked at by SATONO Alladdin, Burning Desire. This filly is from a late October foal, dams by Bertolini, a good stakes winning family, and the foal's owned by Paul Moroney, and I think he might want to keep this one too, just quietly, and he's saying it's the best foal that the mare's thrown.
You know, back in the day he brought horses like Excellent by Pentyre and Penny Gem. He sort of helped put Pentyre on the map for us, and you know, he was very, very excited to send the mare to SATONO Alladdin, and particularly again that Bertolini Deep Impact cross. I think with this filly he'll probably keep her because he'll have visions of her, you know, winning group races for him and that sort of thing, as we all do as breeders. But it's a particularly strong filly, lovely head and great mover. So it's the sort of horse that no doubt if he saw her in the yearling sales he'd have a go at. We had a fantastic start to the spring in Melbourne. Of course, Surprise Baby, he performed very well in the Melbourne Cup. He perhaps, you know, if he had a bit more luck in the running, he may well have won. And of course we had another filly we bred called Vegas Jewel that Lawrence Eels purchased off us, a big shocking fan of course. Riadini, the Group 3 winning son of Poisier, again another horse raised on the farm. It's part of our history now. We've been, you know, going 25 years now, so I've seen a lot of horses come off the farm and a lot of good horses, and you know, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more in the future.